Alright, so in this video I just want to answer some of the most common questions that I've been getting about the 2017 GuShu raw Pu-erh that I have available on HyperionHerbs.com. It's been selling pretty well actually, and been getting really nice feedback, which is not generally surprising because it's such a high quality offering, it's a high quality tea. But for some people that are new to working with Pu-erh cakes, such as this, and actually raw loose tea in general, I just want to kind of answer some of those questions. So the first thing is that you'll notice is this is pressed into a cake. This is a common way that Pu-erh tea is processed. It helps with storage, and I think originally, historically, it was for transport. It made it a lot easier for tea to be transported over long periods of time. And then it has a bit of an effect as well on the aging process as well. But honestly, I don't really worry about that. I don't buy Pu-erh tea to age. I don't really care about that necessarily. I mean, there's some things that I'll buy larger quantities of just to have. Like I have a 100-year-old Pu-erh. I have stuff from the 60s, 50s, 70s. Stuff like that I just have around. Just to have. I don't buy it as an investment to age. And I think especially if you're buying this cake, you should just buy it, drink it, and enjoy it. Don't worry about, oh, I want to keep it for 20 years and see what it's like. I mean, you definitely can, but it's just enjoy it now for what it is. And yeah, you can save some later if you want, but it's not really the biggest option. And then this cake has a slightly firmer pressing than I would typically prefer. But sometimes this happens with higher quality leaf. Sometimes to kind of seal in the aroma, sometimes to help slow down the aging process. So as a result, you're going to need probably some kind of device to help break it apart. You could use your hands, though that would be less elegant, I suppose. And traditionally what people use is a device such as this, which is a Pu-erh pick or Pu-erh knife. And basically you just would take the pick and then wedge it in and break off pieces of tea. Now you definitely wouldn't do it like this because you know you can stab yourself. You would do it on a table in a safe way and use this as if you're kind of using it as a knife, because I've stabbed myself with this before and it doesn't feel good, so I don't recommend doing it. If you don't have one of those, you don't want to buy one of those, or you just don't feel like waiting for one to get shipped to you, you could use a fork. It'll also work, but you just also need to be very careful. You could use a knife. I don't recommend a very sharp knife because obvious reasons. You could use a butter knife or something that's not very sharp, but maybe has a pointy edge. Basically just something to get in, wedge it apart, and peel off some. But again, it's something you just kind of have to finesse and figure out, and you use, again, caution and common sense, because you can definitely hurt yourself, which I think is entertaining and funny and adds to the kind of lore and enjoyment factor for Pu-erh tea. So that's the first thing. The second thing is storage. What happens when you open it? You open your wrapper, and now what? Well, basically what you want to do is just basically fold it back in as you found it, and now you have your wrapper, and then that's it, it's sealed up. You could also just take this, put it inside of a bag, and that's another way to do it. Sometimes that's an easy way once you start breaking it up and there's like powder and loose material in there. Just put it into a bag, or you could discard the wrapper from the very beginning and put it into a bag and just not even worry about it. I've done all of the above, because especially it's only a 100-gram cake, so it's not like it'll take you a year or more to work through it. You know, sometimes you get cakes that are 400 grams or something, and that that can take a while. But yeah, if you do that option, you put it into a bag, be sure to label the bag and write what it is, because I've made that mistake plenty of times, and it becomes kind of annoying because you find this and you're like, wait, which tea was this? Next is you basically just want to make sure it's away from strong smells and in kind of a cold, dry place, and otherwise you'll be okay. Meaning you wouldn't necessarily put it in the cabinet next to like onions and garlic and curry and really pungent, strong things, because it can just absorb. Granted, that might be over a period of time, that might be, you know, for a few days or something, it might not really matter, but something to consider as an actual aspect of the tea. Another part is the actual brewing, how to brew it, what's the best way to brew it. Obviously, I think the best way to brew it is traditionally GuShu style, like how I always brew in my videos. And that's why I have the GuShu tea set on HyperionHerbs.com. It's a gaiwan, a serving pot, and 4 cups for $30-something, and it's pretty nice stuff. You can brew any type of tea out of it, and that's how you'll really get the most out of tea like this, because you can just keep brewing it and brewing it and brewing it. If that is, number one, not possible, or perhaps maybe you're at like a desk working, or you're out somewhere and having a GuShu tea set is not practical, you can also do a French press. That's an easy option. You could also do like a glass tumbler that I think I might have one actually. So I have a glass tumbler like this, and sometimes you can get these with a strainer. This one may have come with a strainer, just probably lost it. You could just brew in this. You could put the tea at the bottom, fill it with hot water, leave the tea in there and just sip it, or you could basically brew a little bit in here and then basically pour it off into a mug or another cup. And basically this would be like your brewing vessel, and the other one would be kind of your drinking or your serving vessel. And that's a really quick, cheap, simple, easy way to do it. But the fact of the matter is you'll be able to get a lot of brews out of it that way. Because you can do 3 or 4 or 5 grams in the bottom, add in hot water, do a quick rinse, dump it out, do another 30-second brew, taste it. Is it too strong? Is it too light? You can gauge more or less based on that. But I just recommend checking out some of the other videos that I have on GuShu brewing, where I show you exactly how to do it and why to do it in every single stage. You understand the principles. If that doesn't interest you, just want to not do it, then just do what I just told you, and that's pretty much all you need to know. And you can't really mess it up. The only way you can mess it up is maybe really overbrew it and it's just really strong. If that happens, just add water to it, dilute it down, not a big deal. The other way to mess it up is like not get enough out of it, meaning like let's say I take 5 grams, I put it in here, I brew it once, and then I throw the tea out. That's a waste, absolutely. Which, I mean, it's your right, I guess, it's your money, but I'm just saying in terms of what the tea can do and how you're going to get the most out of it, it's not really the optimal way. And then in terms of water temperature and specifics like that, under boiling, so you could bring it up to an almost boil, let it sit for 15-30 seconds, and then just go for it. And from there, it's pretty variable. And basically you can know, so if you listen to water heating up, it'll be loud, 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 and then it'll start to quiet down. Once it quiets down, then it'll, like, if you let it go, then it'll brew. But once it hits that loud, then quiet, if you pull it off when it hits the quiet, then that's roughly about the right temperature. And that's kind of how I gauge it if I'm listening to a kettle, or that's pretty much it. I don't really worry about specific temperature, even specific grams. So even how to judge how much to brew, just take the center of your palm. That's generally what I do. I just take the center of my palm, maybe the size of something like that, like a quarter, center of my palm, cover it, and I'm like, that's about 4 or 5 grams. And I've done that and then measured it, and that's pretty much exactly what it is, with some variation depending on the type of tea. So it's really pretty much that simple. And a lot of it is just, you have to do it and you get a feel for it and you learn, and you kind of are engaged, and it's fun and it's entertaining, and it becomes your thing, not just kind of a routine, but it's something that's like interesting and fun and engaging and entertaining for you. So anyways, hopefully that answers most, if not all, of the questions that had come up. I guess the last thing is, this will last forever, so you don't have to rush and drink it. It's not going to go bad, it's not going to spoil. It will just basically kind of slowly ferment and age over time. So you kind of can't mess it up unless you get it wet or you get a lot of smells around it. That's pretty much it. So anyways, hopefully this video has been helpful. If you don't know about this tea, hopefully the other video I did on it will come up in the suggestions, but this is a really, really great, really accessible, extremely high quality raw Pu-erh tea. And the trees that it comes from are also extremely nice and extremely high quality. You can see those on the website, and I'll link all that below. I'll link the GuShu tea set, and I'll also link the 2017 Pu-erh tea that I'm talking about. Anyways, thanks for watching this video, and I'll talk to you soon.